Hello everybody, it's Bezlis here, and welcome back to another episode of Infinite Skies. And today we are going to get into applied energistics. I've been looking forward to this. For those of you that don't know much about applied energistics, I'm going to try and take things relatively slowly, but still make some progress pretty regularly. But firstly, what is applied energistics? Well, it's both a storage system, so you can store a whole lot of stuff in applied energistics, and it also provides auto-crafting abilities, and very good ones at that. It's got good integration into lots of different things, and also you can do really fast auto-crafting and store a ton of stuff in a relatively small amount of space. So that's what we're going to get into. So I have done a little bit off camera just to get some things organized. I haven't made any of the machines or anything like that, but I have done some pure Certus quartz and some pure Fluix crystals, and some Fluix crystals by themselves, and made some skystone. So now, how do we make these things that I've got here? Well, the pure Certus quartz crystals, they don't have a recipe, but if I can actually find somewhere where I can see that, let's grab one of those. Recipe. So drop Certus quartz seed made from Certus quartz dust and sand into a puddle of water to make the process. And to make the process faster, add crystal growth accelerators. So I did this without the crystal growth accelerators, but we're going to make those this episode. And to do it in this pack without them takes about 12 hours or so. So I just set that up and left it going for a while. And then you've got the pure Fluix crystal, which is similar. You use Fluix dust and sand, and you do that the same way. So how do we get the Fluix crystal? This one doesn't take anywhere near as long, so I can probably just show you this one. So the recipe for that is 1 charged Certus quartz, 1 nether quartz, and 1 redstone. So let's grab, I've got some nether quartz, some sand. No, it wasn't sand for this one. Nether quartz, charged, Certus quartz, that one, and redstone. And we can come over to our puddle of water here and drop that, and that in. Oops, that one didn't go in. And that in. And now you can see them all bubbling away there, getting changed into the Fluix crystals. Okay. So now that we've got some of these items, what do we really want to make first? Well, the first thing that we want to do is speed up the process for making our pure Certus quartz and our pure Fluix crystals. So we want to get some growth accelerators. Now, growth accelerators, we have a look at those, need the Fluix block, which is made from the Fluix crystals. So you needed to have done that first step of getting these before doing that. So I'm going to make 5 of these. So 5 of the blocks. We need some quartz glass. And to get that, you need nether quartz dust. I'm going to need quite a bit of this quartz dust over time, so let's grab 5 stacks and 4 stacks of glass. Come over to our table and shift click that in. That will get me 4 stacks of the quartz glass. Then we need some iron and some of these ME glass cables. So to get these, I first need quartz fibre, again glass, and Certus quartz dust or nether quartz dust. I'm going to use the nether quartz dust, and I'll show you why I'm using the nether quartz dust. I have an absolute ton of nether quartz. I've got, I haven't shown this on camera, but I've created a little system. This is mainly for getting me gas tiers, but I've created a little system down here which is constantly creating and sieving the salt sand. So that's where I got all that from. And the side effect of going for the gas tiers is getting a ton of nether quartz. So I don't have a problem with that. Let's just put those in. 1, 2, 3. We need glass, 6 stacks. That should be right. And I know I'm going to need a ton of this over time, so I may as well make a whole lot right now. That's going to get me 3 stacks. Okay, so for these ones we need ME glass cable fluix. So we need fluix crystals or pure fluix crystals. Well, the fluix crystals are cheaper, so let's go with those. A stack of those, there and there, gets me the ME glass cable fluix. And a whole lot of it. So now we need iron. Okay, so 5 of the crystal growth accelerators. Now these need to be powered, but you can't power them with anything other than AE power. Now, how do we get AE power? There is a vibration chamber, which I'm not sure if, vibration chamber, which you can't actually make in this pack. That can create AE power directly, but what we have to do is we have to use an energy acceptor, this guy. So for that you need the Certus quartz wrench, which is what we got last time. So we should now, we've got more of the iron on us. We should be able to put that in. Well, we can't shift click the wrench in. Now it does say here it will only be consumed in auto crafting setup, so we're not going to do auto crafting with that, using that. I don't want to have to make another one. It wouldn't be a big hassle, but preferably not. There we go. Energy acceptor. We've got the crystal growth accelerator. We're going to need some power. I created another couple of tesseracts of this, and I did create some Ender.io enhanced energy conduits as well. Now, I created those. I set up auto crafting for those just so that I could get a whole lot, because I want to start using those cables instead of the immersive engineering ones, and it's going to make things a lot cleaner in the long run. So I've made this area here where I'm going to do my setup of AE2. Probably put this one here, let's say here. So I'll put these ones here and that there. There, so we're going to be surrounding the water on 5 sides. Now, just knock out these helper blocks. So now we need to connect up the cables for this, so that we can use these ME glass cables fluix. They will connect up to these ones, and that one there, and we can, I guess maybe connect them this way. And like so, so they're all now connected. Then I can put this energy acceptor down there, say. Okay, so that now will be able to power this once we've got a tesseract somewhere with the power. So where shall we put that? And then we can connect our enhanced energy conduits up to here. Now the thing about these crystal growth accelerators is that they do use power constantly, and they use quite a lot of it actually, so I won't be always having this connected up. For now I will have it connected up because I'll chuck some of those seeds in there to get some more pure Certus quartz and so on. Oh, we've got some water down here. Grab one of those. Put that in there. Let's go make us some of those seeds. So, what kind do we want? Well, we'll make a bit of both. Some pure Fluix crystals and some pure Certus quartz crystals. So, let's get this one. And we need some Certus quartz. We're going to need a couple of stacks of sand. I have those up here. And then we can go grind up both of those. It's nice to have a good quick grinder for this. There we go, and grind up those ones. And with the Certus quartz dust and some sand, we can make the Certus quartz seeds. And if you notice there, it says this item won't despawn. So even though it took 12 hours for them to process, you don't have to go and pick them up every 5 minutes or anything like that. They just will sit there indefinitely. I think even once they've changed into the pure Certus quartz crystals, they won't despawn until they've been taken out of the water. Then you probably will have them despawn if you chuck them on the ground then. Not 100% on that though. So, we've got those seeds now. Let's drop those in. And there. You can see they're bubbling away in there. And they won't take too long now that they have got all this extra energy that's going into them from the growth accelerators. So that's our way of getting more of those crystals, which we need for a lot of things in AE. The next thing that we really want to get onto is we need to get the inscriber. This guy. Now, that is quite expensive. A resonant machine frame, overclocker, not too bad, iron, not too bad, but you need the pure Certus quartz crystals, which, I mean, you can do the slow way, so you can get these before getting the wrench. That is something that you can do. But, yeah, we're going to make 8 of those. And I have done up some machine frames for this, so here we go. Get 8 of the resonant machine frames. We needed 8 overclockers. Leave 2 of those in there. We need a bunch of iron. I might have enough on me actually. Sticky pistons. Okay. Inscribers. Get. I have 8 of those now. Okay, how do we use the inscribers and what can we do with them? Well, one of the things in AE that make up a lot of the different machines are these processors. So there's like the engineering processor, the logic processor, and the calculation processor, wherever that is, this one here. So you need to be able to make those 3 things. Now to make this, you need an inscriber, and then to make these parts that the calculation process is made out of, that's also done in the inscriber. So, how about this item? Usually you find these in the world, but we can't find them in the world because there is no world. So, you can, in this pack, you can make them. So we need the rolling machine to do that, and I have created a rolling machine to do this. So we need a block of iron and nether quartz, gets us the inscriber calculation press. Okay, but we can now put our... I might just put all of those in there. If I now put the silicon in, we'll get the inscriber silicon press. And we can take that out. That's 1, 2. Do the diamond one. You have to click to craft if there's only one item by the looks of it. And the gold one, which is the logic. And the calculation press. Okay, I've got those now. Let's pop back up to our area here. Now, where do I want to set this up? Maybe over this side. So, I've got a specific way I'm going to set this up, but I will initially start it... Oh, have our things finished now? Yes, they have. So see, rather than 12 hours, that just took, well, a couple of minutes, maybe. And we've got more pure fluix crystals and more of the pure Certus quartz crystals. Okay, so that now has power, and this particular machine doesn't need AE power. It can be run off normal RF, or probably not EU, probably just RF. But what you can do with this is, if we go get silicon, then come here, put our silicon press in there, up there, and put a piece of silicon in there. It will basically stamp it like that. As you can see, it actually even has a little animation, and create a printed silicon. Now, one of the, I guess, annoyances of this machine is you can only put in one item at a time. So this is a machine that you really want to set up automation on, and I can't take anything else into my inventory. So I have a little plan for automating this. I'm going to set that up, and then I'll bring you back to show you how I've got that working. Okay, so this is what I've built here. What I've got is the 8 inscribers in 2 different layers, and a whole lot of this item conduit from Ender.io, joining them up and telling things where to go. In the middle, we're running power up through to all of them, and one of the reasons why there are so many different connections onto these are that these machines are pretty particular about where things are put into them. So the item up here, the best way of getting it in is from the top, and this one from the bottom, and this one comes in from the side. You have to take out from the side, which is what these are doing. And yeah, the way I've got it set up, I have 2 inscribers at the top, which are silicon presses, that one and that one. These 2 are set up, that's a logic press, this one's an engineering press, and down here is the calculation press. So, if I put in, say, all of the silicon into here, that will start feeding up into these ones at the top. They're then going to get pulled out, and they are going to end up in these ones, which take in silicon press, silicon. So this one, for example, might be making the engineering processor. So it takes in a silicon. Redstone's going to be put in through this channel on the side. And that's the same for this one here and this one here. And then the processor is going to be put in through the top. So it should work if I put in all of this stuff. We should start to get out the other side. So that's going to be hammering out some of those there. We should start to get some of the processors. So there we go, a calculation processor. What is our next step? Well, I mean, the main thing about AE is actually all of the storage and the auto-crafting. But the first thing is really getting onto the storage side of things. So, what options do we have there? Presently, we've got a lot of stuff stored in all of these chests. Well, all of these chests and all of these drawers. Some of this I probably will leave in drawers, like all of the things that can be multiple forms, like these. They seem... I mean, if you've got the A network connected up to this, it can see all three options. So that seems handy rather than having just ingots in there and then having to craft nuggets when you need nuggets. So AE can connect to other storage devices. So we can connect it up to there. We are also going to want, in the interim, to be able to access the AE system from the logistics pipe system so that our auto-crafting can keep going until we migrate that over to AE. Okay, so the next thing that we actually want, which is like the backbone of an AE system, is an ME controller. And this is another one of those things that you need the Certus Quartz wrench for. And you need skystone blocks. Now I told you earlier on, and if you notice, we need engineering processes, which is why I needed to get something like that done first. If you noticed earlier, or I mentioned earlier, that I made skystone. Well, this is pretty easy to do. Just skystone dust into a lava barrel, and you get that. We're going to have to fire some of that up to get the smooth skystone. Shove it in there. Okay, there's a whole bunch of skystone blocks. Let's come back down here. We need the engineering processes. Engineering processes. Okay, it is definitely still running. Just need 2 of those, and we need 2 pure fluix crystals and our wrench, which I put away. Pure fluix crystals, wrench. There must be something else. Oh, you have engineering processes. 1, 2, and the skystone around the outside. And there we have an ME controller. Now that's also going to have to get power. It can have power directly input into it though. We don't need to use an energy acceptor for that. Talking about energy though, let's just ask for another 20 of those. Energy conduits. Okay, so we've got the ME controller. We're also going to want some ME drives. So that is again engineering processes, some of that fluix cable and some iron. So probably don't need that many drives initially. Let's grab 8 of them. Let's for now do a very temporary setup of this. I will put Tesseract here, power, set that, and receive only. I should be able to put the ME controller down beside it. And there we go, that is getting power. And now if we connect it up to there, we are going to need a storage bus. So, what does a storage bus do? That is the item that allows an ME system to access other storage systems. So, we want this one, a piston, a sticky piston, and an ME interface. An ME interface needs iron, glass, formation, and annihilation cores. Formation core, logic processor, and an annihilation core is the same. That one's nether quartz will probably be the best for that one, and Certus quartz for that one. Both of them need fluix dust. Okay, here we go. I think I've got everything that we need. Let's make a bunch of these annihilation and formation things, cores, that's it. Let's make, say, 32 of each. They're something that we're going to need a lot of, so may as well make a bunch right now. ME interface. Let's make 16 of these for now. And now we should be able to make a storage bus. Well, I could make 16 of them. I will just make one of them for now. Limitless potential. Yes, we now have limitless potential. Okay, I can connect that up to there. And with some of this fluix cable, I can bring it up and connect it up to our ME controller. So now, how do we actually see what's part of a ME network? Well, what we need for that is a terminal. In particular, I would like the crafting terminal. So that is this guy here. Arcane crafting terminal. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So for this, a calculation processor, we've got that crafting table and an ME terminal. Formation and annihilation plane, there those come in again. And an illuminated panel of some sort and a logic processor. And this is just quartz glass, which we made a whole bunch of, glowstone, redstone, and iron. And crafting terminal. There we go. A much bigger table. Awesome. Now I can put a cable up on top of here, then I can connect this ME crafting terminal right to the front of that. And this is all multi-block stuff. AE2 is actually really good with its multi-block stuff. So I could actually put one on this side as well, like that. I don't know why I'd do that. Can I? Yep, I can take it off with just a normal wrench. And then if we go into it, we can see everything inside our drawers. Oh, that's pretty cool. And we could make something like, let's say we wanted another crafting table. And I can put that into there and make it directly from the stuff that this can see in those drawers. Well, that's pretty cool. So, where do we go from here? Well, the next thing, I do want to start putting some things into a drive, so I'll put a drive down here, and we're going to have to put some disks into that drive. So we've got 1K drives. Each of the drives holds 63 different types, or each of the cells holds 63 different types. And depending on the size you get, it's how many total items you can hold in there. So this doesn't hold too much. 4K holds a bit more, 16K a reasonable amount, and they keep going up. For now, we'll go with probably the 16K Ks. I think I'll make some of those. So to do that, you have to make these 16K ME storage components, which take 3 of the 4Ks and an engineering processor. The 4Ks take 3 of the 1Ks and a calculation processor, and the 1K takes Certus quartz, and it's like charged, pure, or just plain Certus quartz, and logic processor, and some redstone. We can make 3 of the disks. Better than chests. Okay, we can now put those 16K units in there, and I can start putting all of my stuff in there, all of my items. And that's just all going to go and get stored inside the ME system, which is going to make it a bit easier to, I just want to check something. So if I take 32 of those out, that's now 2635. That's 2635. If I put them back in, 2667. Yep, so it's by default it's going to try and put it back into the storage drawers, which is good. But I can take all of this stuff and is there anything in my inventory that I care to keep on me? That I'll probably keep a bucket, but I can just put that all in there. I'm not sure about putting the wrench in there. It might be too easy to go about trying to autocraft with it, so I'll keep that out. But there we go. Now if I go in here and I want to get one of these drives, 16K drives, I can go down to here, put the recipe in, and I can only get one of them because I've run out of the logic processors. So that's the next thing to do, and it's really awesome that I can just take items directly out of there. Don't have to do this whole requesting a certain amount from there, waiting for it to come. It's instant. So that's really cool. But I think that's going to be all for this episode. I'm going to spend a bit of time off camera basically tidying up all of these chests and getting them all loaded onto drives. All of these kinds of items are going to stay inside compacting drawers. Some items like this, the Yellorium, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. There is an option of these block containers, and they are really good for holding a whole lot of one individual item. So I'll probably do that for a lot of these ones that we have a lot of items for, but most of this is going to end up going on to some of these disks. Like this one here, I've got 23 different items in it now. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good. And next time, I think that what we're going to get into is probably some auto-crafting using applied energistics. Happy days. And probably also look at what kind of integration there is between applied energistics and logistics pipes, seen as I don't want to probably straight away remove all of my logistics pipes. I've got a lot of stuff set up in it, so it'll be more of a phasing out. But until next time, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed our little trip into applied energistics here. There is a lot more to this mod. This is just the beginning, just the tip of the iceberg. And we're going to do a lot of things with it. And I think there are going to be some really exciting things, actually. So until later, I hope that you have a great week, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!